everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's the Seahawks going up against the Cardinals.
Ourselves at the home of the world's first retractable natural grass field as you get a look inside University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback. Now a play fake here on first down. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Frank Clark in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Underneath for Johnson. It's a gain of 5, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. Let's look at this offense now, and let's talk about John Brown.
An exciting young talent from Pittsburgh State, home of the Gorillas. Hard to cover, great moves in short areas.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. They'll set up a throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Here's Dorsett. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Now here are the Seahawks in great shape to start their first drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
Last week's game.
It was good. Four touchdowns, one pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
I'm going to give him another shot.
All right, I think the ratio is pretty good. He'll try and eliminate the interception, but he wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes.
And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. He still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game. 2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Now Wilson. And to the left side here, Wilson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
On 2nd down, Wilson. Over the middle, Dorsett. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete.
And it'll be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, surprise, surprise, partner. No, we know it's not a surprise. When you try to complete a pass against this Cardinals defense, there's a reason that they are known as the no-fly zone.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Dumping it off for Johnson. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we get by oh, he just stuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into... And a big loss here as he's taken down. Frank Clark in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
First time I saw Cam Chancellor was in college at Virginia Tech, and I loved his athletic ability. I loved the way he took care of the middle of the field, but I wondered how that would translate to the NFL. Well, he found the perfect home in Seattle, where they allow him to roam the middle of the field and sometimes act almost as a second middle linebacker to take care of things that come across his way.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, fun on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Left side, it's Dorsett. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll run it now out of the gun, and he'll be tackled at about the 35. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. Back to Glendale after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
They've got a 2nd down and 5 here to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a 2nd drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
And a nice gain at 21 yards.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
They go to Johnson again. And they're running right through it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That good for 22 and a first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it, because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
He'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sheldon Richardson. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain. I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Good move at the 30. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Back to throw here. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now back to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Seahawks will take over at their own 20. Now they'll run it on the toss. And nice yardage right off the bat here as he's up to about the 24-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. More from the desert after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll have Larry Ridley's highlights, but points obviously hard to come by in this first half. Larry will be in Orlando with our halftime report in about 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, he and his staff, they're putting together nothing but defensive highlights from the first half. And there's nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. On 3rd down, that's Tucker. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. Now Wilson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
2nd and 10 now. Wilson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Tucker. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. Now it's Wilson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Procise. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Wilson. Dorsett making the catch. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Steps away to his left. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. From the shotgun, Wilson. So they get a traffic there, and that's complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we send you on down to our studios in Orlando, where standing by is Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right.
There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. There are 0 points on the scoreboard for either side. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments were made. The defenses have obviously been great.
So if you like defense, this is a classic game. This is what you're looking for. But now you're trying to figure out how to gain any type of an advantage on offense. Is it through a big chunk play that they haven't seen before? Or is it just running your regular offense and running it better, trying to create an opportunity?
We'll see which avenue they choose to go down. There's Wilson to throw. Going to Rawls on the dump off. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
A bullet throw, but incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
On is the punter, Ryan, to send this one away. Ooh, with a juke. Oh, and now he bowls him over. 47-yard punt, a return of 4. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far.
They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They've been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. The loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says try something different, try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. To throw is Wilson. To throw on 2nd down. And that is incomplete.
So many offenses will have to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he comes back with one complete. Here's John Ryan now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
To the sideline, wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, did a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Trying to barrel up in there, but I don't think he got it. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Let's go!
Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. Great footwork there, Charles, to dot the I, stay in bounds, get both feet in. He's probably thinking, though, man, I made a catch like that close to the end zone. I should have scored.
Yeah, there's always a regret when you're that close to the goal line. But let's go back to what you talked about before. Getting his feet down. Would you say dotting the I? I can cross the T as well. That was excellent footwork to get in bounds and make a great catch.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. And the 13-year man puts it through, and the Cardinals have the first points. It's 3-0. So good news, Charles. This will not be a scoreless tie as we finally get our first points of the contest here in quarter number 3.
Let the celebration begin, partner. Yeah, it's just a field goal. But the way these defenses ruled the first half, any points are looking pretty good right about now.
As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring him...
And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Robert Kindici. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Wilson looking to throw on 2nd down. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
That's the 2nd sack of the game. The best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. This is fielded at the 27. Johnson jostles free. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now let's look at David Johnson. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed. I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't it?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone.
And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. David Johnson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
Into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you can...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw on second down, Wilson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
3rd and long, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Here's John Ryan now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They begin the drive with Johnson. Fighting to get back to the goal line. I don't think he got there. He did not get back there. It's a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
And out now come the Seahawks. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Looking to throw on second down. Wilson. They set up the screen to Rawls. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Dancing to his left. And he's going to be out of bounds down to the 25. 23 yards on the tuck and run. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And it's second down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
The Seahawks on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Wilson. Flush to his right. Hard throw, incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And the former Arizona Wildcat, Folk, gets this one to go. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I guess they're thinking their hands were tied, but in the fourth quarter, that field goal, it really might not help them much at all.
Yeah, I mean, you still need a touchdown. Another field goal does you no good, so it'll be interesting to see what the media reaction is if the score stays where it is.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take. Puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And now defensively they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Come on, let's go.
They're going to look to throw. Underneath for Johnson. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Time for a break. Here's Brett Kern now. He's been terrific so far. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Dayon Buchanan. And they will score. It's a pick 6 for the Cardinals touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Now a play fake here on first down. Now a desperation. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off at the 39. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
A big pick there by Patrick Peterson. This one's going to seal victory for his team. Not much of a surprise for me that he actually comes down with the football. Excellent hands. Played some offense while he was in college. And even here at Arizona, he's done the exact same thing.
Yeah, back at LSU, and a big pick here for the Cards. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Again, it's Johnson. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to file that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play? Might want to check into a throw the next time.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're